name is Jason, and this is Just Watches. Now, I have wanted to check out one of these Helson Sharkmasters for a long time now, so when one popped up used but almost new, I decided to go for it. Now, before we get to the review, if you're enjoying the contents of this channel, I invite you to subscribe, and if you're enjoying the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. For price and availability, this watch is currently sold out, but I expect Helson will do another production run of this watch soon. The price of this watch is between $600 to $700. The case is 41.5 millimeters in diameter, 47 millimeters lug to lug, 13.5 millimeters thick, and has a 20 millimeters lug width opening. Now, this watch is an homage to the Omega Seamaster 300, so the case is not original. However, they nailed the case on this. There is a massive sweeping high polished chamfer that twists at the end in that lyre lug style. The inner portion of the lug is brushed along with the sides of the midcase. Despite the case being quite flat, there is a slight curve down on the lugs, and the lugs are also drilled for easy strap changes. While the case overall is quite thick, the thickness is well balanced between the midcase, bezel, and domed sapphire crystal, and I think it wears thinner than specification. The stock bracelet starts at 20 millimeters and tapers down to 18 before jumping back up to 20 millimeters at the clasp. The articulation against the back of the watch and between the links is as good as it gets, which can greatly enhance the overall comfort of a bracelet. The 3-link style is all brushed and the links are gently rounded. The clasp has a quick adjust system that I have seen before but never gotten to try out. I like it, it is quite easy to use. The only downside is beyond a few clicks, it does make the clasp very long, which can impede wear if you have a smaller wrist. The twin trigger release reveals a fully milled scissor. Overall, this is a really comfortable and highly adjustable bracelet. The screw in case back helps provide 300 meters of water resistance and is engraved with details about the watch as well as a shark. This watch is powered by the Miyota 9039, which is the no-date 9000 series. This is a hacking, hand-winding 28,800 beats per hour movement with a 42-hour power reserve and a stated accuracy of -10 to +30 seconds a day. I like that they use the no-date movement on this no-date watch, so you don't have a ghost position. The 6mm screw-down crown is nicely signed with an H for Helson and also very nicely knurled. The threading and unthreading action is very smooth, and it is easy to wind and operate the watch via this crown. The massive boxed double-domed crystal rises about 1.5 millimeters proud of the bezel. Now, I love this massive crystal, and while it does make the watch a bit thicker, it adds a ton of character. I'm not sure if anti-reflective coating was used, but I think it was, as this watch is very legible despite the domed crystal. The 120-click unidirectional bezel has super chunky knurling featuring high polished teeth. The insert is a sapphire insert and fully lumed and looks fantastic. The only downside is I don't love the bezel action. It is super ratchety with about a half-click settleback, and maybe it is just me, but it doesn't feel super satisfying to turn. However, the alignment is very good. Now, the dial and bezel are technically blue, but this is a dark blue that almost always appears black except in certain lighting conditions. This is the big triangle version, which means you have that massive triangle at 12, then dashes for each of the minutes with large Lume rectangles for every other position other than 3, 6, and 9, which have the Arabic numerals in those positions. This watch is ultra legible, and this no-date version has an extremely pleasing symmetry. Text is restrained with Helson and automatic at 12, and Sharkmaster 300 at 6. Really just a fantastic dial, and I was a bit worried about the blue, but I love it. The hour and minute hands are high polish and filled with Lume. The hour hand is a sword style hand, while the minute hand is a baton style. I wish the minute hand was ever so slightly longer, but it does overlap the dashes on the dial for the minutes, so I can let it slide. The second hand is white and provides nice contrast, with a short counterbalance and a loomed arrow at the end. Now, this second hand is super long, reaching all the way to the edge of the dial. This handset is also extremely legible and complements the dial nicely. The lume on this watch is super bright, responsive, and long-lasting, and I love that the bezel is also loomed extremely well. So here is the watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I think it wears smaller than the specifications. I was worried it might be a bit bigger than my own personal preference, but I think it looks and wears great both on the stock bracelet and on a strap. Pros and cons, starting with the pros, this watch is gorgeous in person. While they obviously can't take credit for the case design, the lyre style lugs are well executed and the watch wears and looks great. Second, the lume is extremely responsive and bright, and the loomed bezel is fantastic. Last, the bracelet is really comfortable, and because of the design of the end links, it drapes extremely well. As for cons, I only have one major one, and that is that the bezel action does not have a satisfying feel. It just feels unrefined, and on a diver, I want the bezel to be fun to use. Second, and this is very minor, center, but the Arabic numerals on the bezel insert are super close to the outer edge of the bezel in a way that looks a bit odd. It seems like they should be more centered in the insert. So there you have it, the Helson Sharkmaster 300. What do you think about this watch? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you're enjoying the contents of this channel, I invite you to subscribe. And if you like the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. That's all for this time. My name is Jason, and you have been watching Just Watches.